Hi guys, welcome again to my channel. It is I, Axbal Noel. So today I'm just going to be talking about or teaching about not the cannabis community actually, but how to create a carousel inside of Figma. So the thing here is I was looking for the worst case scenario to use while creating this, and I guess I just had to try something new using the cannabis community. All right, so without wasting much of our time, let's dive into it. So first off, this is an already existing one that I created, so I'm just going to replicate this for what we are going to be making use of. First off, we will have to create a frame. I'm just going to expand my screen. We are going to create a frame. The MacBook Air won't be a bad idea. Or let's try something wider so we can get the same wide screen. So MacBook Pro 16. So now we are going to have our navigation bar at the top. I'm just going to draw a frame using this and this. Now our frame is just going to hold a height of 180. I'm going to align this to the top, add a color to it, and yeah, or maybe just give it a color of my choice, 1111111, and I am good to go. So next up is we are going to have the cannabis community here, which is going to act as the logo. But before then, I will need to add a layout guide so that I can be able to set my margins properly. So I'm just going to add a layout guide to this MacBook 16 frame. Columns, count is 5. My margin should be around 60. All right, so that means every other thing I'm going to add into here is going to start all the way from here and end right here without having to cross this and enter into the margin. So now the font I made use of is Recollector, right? So the cannabis um community. Yep. Now I'm using Satoshi here, so but I'm going to switch to this Recollector. Now align the text to the left, reduce its size to 40, and then so now I am going to, this is our line height is an auto, but I don't need the auto. I'm going to reduce it a little bit so the text get to come a little bit close to each other. So currently we have it at 54. I'm going to try 46 to see what happens. Okay, this is good. Yeah, this is perfect. So remember our margin is 60, so but this text is having 77. So I'm just going to push a little bit and yep, we are good to go. 60. So the next thing we are going to be having right here is our nav. So we'll have our home aligned to the top, about us, community, and contact us, contact. All right, so all these texts are having the same line height, so I'm just going to get rid of it. I just hit backspace and enter. Now I'm going to apply auto layout to this, so they are just being held together, and a spacing of let's try 50. Yep. So align them. So the next thing I'm going to do is reduce its size so it doesn't give us the same size as the logo. So reducing the size to 32 isn't a bad idea. And okay, align. So now we are going to have another button by the side, which is going to play the role of our Login. So let me just type a new button. So log in. I'm going to apply auto layout to this button so that we can be able to get a frame around it. So shift and A for auto layout. And I'm going to add a padding of 30, a horizontal padding actually. And I think I'll do the same to the top, but the top is going to be 20. So I'm going to increase this again to 40. All right. So now the next thing I'm going to do is apply a fill, white color, then change the text to the black color of music, which is 111. Okay. This should be 100. So now this I'm going to align properly. And remember our padding, or rather our margin, is 60. So now the next thing I'm going to do is curve the corners. So 100. So now we have this. So I think I should stretch this a little. Yes. Make it 230. All right. So apply auto layout to this and auto layout to this, and we are good to go. We have 60 on this side, and we have 60 on this side, and we have 21 at the top and 21 at the bottom. So now this is where the whole thing comes into place. So we are going to draw a frame around here to cover up all these boxes. And it is inside of that frame we are going to add our image. So I'm just going to draw a frame from this edge all the way down to this edge. Yep. And then drag to the top. So I'm just going to check the edge to be sure it's met. So we won't be needing our margin or our layout guide. So I'm just going to turn this off. So now this frame, we are going to fill it up with the image we intend to make use of for this carousel. So I'm just going to add, click on this plus, then head over to images here and upload from computer. Now I have all of my images inside of here already. So I'm just going to select each and every one of them one after the other. So I'm just going to make use of this first. Click on open and it fills it up. Oh my God. I don't need this. I don't need this. So poor. All right. I think we'll just have to make use of it like this though. So I'm just going to bring this guy outside of here. This is him. So I'm going to duplicate this frame into 4 places. So because we're having 4 of them, then select, head back over here and upload from computer. I'm going to select the next one, which is this, open, and we are going to do the same for this guy here. And okay. And yep, we are going to do the same for this guy here, which is the last but not the least. Good. So now we have gotten all 4 images. So what's next is adding our text inside of it. So I have my text well placed waiting for me here under our untitled. So I'm just going to pick this first, which is going to be like the header. Now I type. I'm just going to paste inside. Now I'm going to increase the size of this text to like a 96. Let's see. Okay, 96 is not bad then. Align this to the center and align again. Take to the top. So I'm going to type again but this is now going to be for this guy. Copy, paste. So but this time around, not 96. Let's try 64. And also not recollector. So I'm going to change the font so it gives us a perfect balance. So, but here I'm making use of Satoshi. There is Satoshi variable. So by making use of Satoshi. So I'm just going to click this and I'm going to resize this text, bring it closer, resize more. Yep. Okay, I'm going to align this. So I really need to play around with this. I'm just going to make this 60. Okay, so this is good. Um, I think this. So they are having a padding of 38. So something like this is not bad. So I'm just going to apply auto layout to the both of them and make sure they are aligned properly at the center. Now I'm going to copy this whole thing. I'm going to copy it and paste it inside of all of this. So I wouldn't have to type from the scratch. All I just need to do is edit the already existing. So I'm going to select all three of them and Control V, and we have all inside. And I'm now going to edit one after the other. So I'm going to get the next one, which is your hub for cannabis culture. Copy and paste. Then get the subtext. Copy and paste. Control V for paste, actually. Do the same for this. Elevating the cannabis experience. Damn. Copy and paste. Discover insights. Copy and paste. Okay. Um, where passion meets community. Copy and lastly, whether you are curious, copy and paste. Now we are good to go. So the next thing we ought to do is we are going to apply a fill to this frame. The reason is because we need it to be a bit darker, so the whosoever the users can be able to read. It will help us to enhance the readability on this image. So like for instance here, you will have to like zoom in closely. Let me find something. Okay, like this, like this. These are a bit, but then they ought to be like a dark. The image, we are just trying to make it look a bit darker. So I'm just going to select on this and hit plus, and it's just going to make it a bit darker for us. It is going to have 000 as a fill, 20%. So it's best to leave it at 20%. And we are going to do the same for this guy here. Fill plus, you see, this is the kind of feel it gives. It gives it a little bit darker. And the same thing for this guy. Plus, the same thing for this guy. And plus. Yep, we are good to go. So the next thing we ought to do is we are going to select all this and put it inside of a frame. To right click, frame selection, and yep, we have gotten this. Now we are not going to place all of this inside of here, right? All we just need is a part of it, and we need a part of it for it to scroll. So what we are going to do is we'll need to like turn on this our ruler. To turn on your ruler, you need to go over here and go to your view. This is your ruler, shift arrow. So but I have mine turned on already, so I'm just going to drag my ruler to meet this point, then do the same for this point, right? So I just need to turn this off, drag again. Yep. Okay. Yes, good. So now we have gotten this. Now we are going to select this frame and resize it to meet at this point where this ruler is. So we're going to hold Control on our keyboard and drag this to, yeah, good. So we have gotten the first one, which is this. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to clip the contents. So every overflowing image is going to be clipped out of this content. So next up, we are going to duplicate this. I'm going to hold Alt and Shift on my keyboard and duplicate, drag down to duplicate. So I'm going to unclip this content, select all of these images. This is one, this is the second, this is the third, and this is the third inside of here. So, but for clarity, I'm just going to name this image. So I'm going to name this slider one, and I'm going to name this slider two. So we don't get confused. So inside of slider two, we have frame 78, which is this guy, and we have right, we have frame 79, which is this guy, we have frame 80, which is this, and we have frame 81, which is this. So this is our slider 2. So we have all of these 4 frames. Yes. So we are going to drag, hold shift and drag this so that we'll have the second frame enter inside of this box that we have created with this ruler. So I'm just going to zoom in properly so I can see what I'm doing. All right, so we have this. Nice. So we have gotten this and clip the content. Now I'm going to duplicate again. This is our slider 3. I'm going to cover up slider 2, open up slider 3, then select all 4. Oh, but then I need to unclip this content. So I'm going to unclip content and select all 4 again. Now, just as we did for slider 2, we are going to do the same for slider 3. Hold shift and drag. Okay. I think I messed this up. So we are just going to hold shift and drag. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so I can be able to get, let me just use my arrow keys to make proper adjustments. And I have gotten this third one. And now we have gotten our slider 3. Now we are going to do the same for slider 4. I'm going to unclip the content and we're going to select all 4 of the images and drag. So it's this one fits without a problem, right? Yeah. So select slider 4 and clip its content. So now we have gotten all 4 slides. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to select all 4 of them, head over to where we have a component, but we are not creating a component out of it, but rather we are hitting the create component options and we are going to create a component set because all of these 4 is a set of a particular component, which is the slider. So I'm going to select create component set and we are going to prototype all of this. We are going to head over to prototype and select connect this to this and now we are not going to make use of onClick as a trigger, but rather we are going to be using after delay. So what it means is after the delay we are going to change from slider 1 to slider 2. So the delay time is 800 milliseconds. We are going to increase this a little bit to 200 or rather 2000, sorry, and we are good. So the animation is instant. We are going to change animation to smart animate so it bounces like what I showed you guys earlier. And the curve is ease out, but we're going to select gentle 800 milliseconds for the duration, and that is okay. So we are going to do the same for the second slider. Connect this to the third, change on click to after delay and increase the delay from 800 milliseconds to 2000 milliseconds. And we are going to do the same for slider 3. Connect this to this, change trigger to after delay, 800 milliseconds to 2000 milliseconds. Now for this is the last one. We are going to connect this back to the first because it is assumed after this, once you get to this point, return back to number 1. So we are going to connect this back to slider 1 and yeah, on click, but after delay is what we need, 800 to 2000 milliseconds. So if you notice, we didn't do anything again on the animation because Figma automatically, once you've done one for the animation, it just keeps repeating it for you. All you just need to change is the trigger and the delay. So we are good to go. Next up, we are going to head over to our assets And I'm going to delete this one I have here so we don't get confused. I'm going to delete this so we can be having just one asset inside of this file. So I'm just going to select this, and we have our component one, which is this guy here. And we are just going to drag him out and paste him. Now drag him into here, place him properly, head back over to my design, and make sure he's aligned to the bottom, aligned properly. So we have all of him. I'm going to close up this one we have. Now come back here and play this stuff to see what we have created. Ooh. So now if you notice the screen, it's kind of overflowing. So I'm just going to head over to here and fit width for it to fit into this place. So I'm just going to expand this so that we can have a clear picture of what we have done. So when we are creating, we did not add a button, but it's all good. So we just needed to get this and see how the carousel just works inside of Figma. So this is just what it looks like. So thank you guys for watching. If you like what you see, whether you like or you don't like, shall like the video and comment. Also subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. Peace out.